However, there are some things on Kickstarter that we didn't miss.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to talk about
And that's why we picked them.
right now in our Kickstarter Pickstarter. All of them are mine today.
Yes, you really,
There aren't a lot, though. They aren't that exciting. Oh, Gesundheit, sir.
Thank you, good sir. I'm sorry.
You're allergic to my Kickstarters.
Yes.
The first one is Dungeon Time. This one looks really
is
cool.
it time already?
You didn't see this one? You saw me watching it, but you didn't see this one. It's
Yes.
fine. Dungeon Time is a cooperative, real-time game. You're all adventurers in a dungeon, and
Really?
Yeah. And there's only 5 minutes. You flip a sands timer, and you all have cards. And the basic gist of it is, you'll either have items or quests in your hand, and a quest will say, "I need these 2 items to be played." So you are asking each other, "Oh, do you have this item? Put this item down. Do you have this? I put that." And once they have put them down, you can put your quest down, and then you draw more quests or more items, and it sort of goes like that. And there's different things that happen throughout that, but it's got there's a campaign mode built into it, but the fact that it's just these 5-minute rounds, it's very fast and simple, and I felt like watching this, I realized we don't see that many real-time games, although it usually is one of our favorite mechanics in a game.
Yeah, but I feel like it's interesting. I was actually going to bring up how I like that.
Yeah.
But I think one of the reasons we like it
Well, part of the
is because for us it's like we know this game will now have 20
It
minutes.
forces you to have a timer, but it also creates this sense of urgency and excitement that a lot of games don't have. I think it's probably just very hard to design around that.
Because you have to try to balance it, make it so everyone feels okay with the time. And then, of course, I know for for some people, one of the reasons they come to board games is because it's not timed, or because, whether physical or mental disability, they might not, whether they just can't go as quick as, whether it's grabbing or button pressing or something, whatever.
Right.
So you sort of have to worry about that too when it comes to that.
So yeah, it's always cool when one comes out. It's impressive that they managed to do it. That's Dungeon Time. That goes for like $40 or something like that. I forget.
Why are you looking at me? It's your Kickstarter.
I've completely failed at my job. No, I think it's cheaper than that. It's only like $25. That's what it was.
Well, either way, find out if Jonathan's wrong and check it out.
It was only $25. I remember because I put a reminder on it because I was like, $25. That's a pretty good deal. So that's
I'd be a
Dungeon
little
Time.
dismayed if neither of us chose a Kickstarter Pickstarter but didn't remind. I feel like usually we're at least because we chose it because we like it.
That's usually how it works. Well, sometimes I liked it, but it's way too expensive, so I just want to tell other people about it. The next one is called Meridian. Takes the Dungeons and Dragons experience a little bit in a different way. It's a storytelling game. Fantasy-based, very interesting. A number of players. It's all cards. So basically, each player has a role. One player, I forget what they call it, but one player is like the journeyer. They're the one actually on an adventure.
Like that.
No, they're like the protagonist of the story.
Okay.
One player is the guide, I think, and they're like helping them through it. And then everyone else, or maybe everyone else is a guide. I forget the terms, but then everyone else is like kind of side characters as you go. And it's it's kind of hard to explain, but you draw cards and there's different scenarios and it has a story. And everyone gets to like pick a character and say where you are, and then at the end of each card there will be some kind of a choice that you have to make that will lead into what the next scenario is. And depending on, it'll tell you like, do you want like a more lighthearted thing, or a scarier thing will happen, or a really messed up thing will happen. It can get darker or lighter as you choose. And eventually it will end up in the game ending and with the protagonist having to make some kind of big choice. But the concept seemed really interesting as a storytelling game.
Well,
much more like a cooperative.
We are both
storytelling
suckers
together.
for story games.
Right.
I will say this though, when you first started explaining it, what I thought you were going to say was, one person's protagonist, one person's a guide, and everyone else is just throwing events at him. And I just imagined like that one movie, I think it was, I forget who it was, but it was like the guy realizes he's the main character in a book.
Oh, Stranger Than Fiction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just imagine being like, really? Come on.
It is kind of like that. Yeah, it is a little bit like that. But yeah, it's like a very loosey-goosey. I think like it has cards, but then once you're in it, you're making stuff up. So bridging that gap between role playing and just card games. That one you can get the PDF for $15 or the physical version for $40.
So is it gonna be a book or?
It's a lot of cards, and I think there's also like a book that has some stuff in it. But yeah, they said that if you do the PDF, it's a lot of printing and cutting, so you have to be prepared for that.
All right, so but if you like story games like we do, definitely something to check out.
Meridian. And finally, the last one that I'm going to talk about is sort of, well, it is a joke Kickstarter. It's not something that is actually a game, but I thought it was pretty funny and worth bringing up. It's called White Text on Black Cards, the game, something like that. And if you can't tell, if you've seen the picture, it's basically mocking all these Cards Against Humanity rip-offs that show up on Kickstarter like twice a day.
Right.
And what the game is it's one black card with white text that is why I don't want to play any of these games anymore. And then it comes with some white cards, and everyone just plays their reason, and that's it, and then you stop. So it's not really a game, but I think
You've backed at the 1,000 tier level,
yeah,
right?
it's actually $11 if you want to back it. But I thought it was kind of clever and a well-deserved shot because there are just so many of these games that it can be a little overwhelming.
Yeah, Cards Against Humanity hit that sort of flux of everyone wants to say their version of how they think it should go.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to think of a video game like Candy Crush or whatever. Yeah, I guess, but except that if World of Warcraft were really easy and cheap to make and everyone could do it.
Right.
But yeah, so check that one out. But those are all our Kickstarters. They're just some. That was just a goofy one.
Yes.